Hello everyone, it's Myung-Koo. Today I am going to read S6 6057 Electric Storm, Chapter 3. We've got to help him, said Tim. Miss Frizzle turned the key in the ignition. Engine chugged and sputtered, but didn't start. Great, we've got engine trouble, Arnold groaned. We'll never catch up to him. I looked up. The particle of dust with Charlie on it was just a tiny speck far above us. It rose farther away from us every second. Then we heard a loud clank and a low growl. Yes, Miss Frizzle crowed as the engine finally started. Not to worry, Clef. She assured us. Don't forget, warm air is carrying us up too. Now we've got turbo power. The freeze hit the gas and the magic school bus flew upward even faster. We caught up with Charlie in a flash. He was still clinging to the dust particle, and he looked terrified. But you know what? I noticed a definite spark of curiosity in his eyes too. Freeze brought the magic school bus in for a landing on the dust. Charlie scrambled back on board. No clouds in sight yet, he reported. But updraft really gave this dust a lift. I noticed something else too, he went on. Looked like Charlie was finally starting to pay attention. There's a little chill in at that moment the dust particle we were on gave a sudden lurch upward. Oh, I cried. What's happening? Arnold asked. The freeze grinned from ear to ear. How marvelous. Class, we just hit a cold front. Just in case, you should all shut your windows. Cold fronts are pushy. Front is the boundary between two masses of air that have different temperatures and humidity. Since cold air is heavier than warm air, it pushes warm air up and out of the way. Hearing that didn't make me feel any better. Now the dust particle with us on it zoomed upward even faster. The wind is coming from the northwest, I said, glancing at the notation I had made on our weather chart. Is that what brought the cold air our way? You get the drift, Keisha. When the cold front pushes into our warm air, it makes the warm air move even faster. That can cause storm clouds and rain to form. But Miss Frizzle, I began. I was tired of hearing about storms without being able to see them. I guess I wasn't the only one because everyone else chimed in. Where are the thunderclouds? At that exact moment, something amazing happened. Droplets of water appeared in the air nearby. No scratch that. Those droplets weren't just near us. One wet bubble formed right around the magic school bus. I sure was glad the windows were shut. That water appeared out of thin air, said Ralphie. Like magic? Not magic, Ralphie. Just a miracle of science in action. Miss Frizzle said, Class, we are now witnessing the formation of a cloud. This is a cloud. Charlie's mouth dropped open. I thought it was some kind of a gigantic water balloon that was holding us prisoner. For once, I understood exactly what he was talking about. All I saw was water. Water everywhere. Water droplets may seem big when you're as tiny as we are. Miss Frizzle explained, but when you're a little bigger, the freeze pressed a button on the dashboard and the magic school bus grew larger. Pop! The bus burst out of the water droplet. Now that we are bigger, I could see millions of tiny water droplets suspended in the air around us. They formed a light gray haze that completely surrounded us. Wow, this is a cloud, Wanda said, and we're right in the middle of it. You bet. Miss Frizzle pulled a poster from the globe compartment and held it up. Let's see. Charlie looked out the bus window, then stared at Miss Frizzle's chart. Clouds we are in is fluffy and round, with a flat base, he said. All of a sudden, he snapped his fingers. It's a cumulus cloud, he announced. Clouds, cumulus, stratus, cirrus, cumulonimbus, cumulonimbus. Cumulus clouds are puffy and rounded and cottony white. They are often seen on dry, sunny days. Stratus clouds form a sheet-like layer across the sky. Stratus clouds may produce a light rain, drizzle, or snow, but when they do, they get a new name, nimbostratus. Cirrus clouds form very high in the sky, usually about 20,000 feet. They are made of ice crystals and have a wispy, feathery look. Cumulonimbus clouds are like massive cumulus clouds that can reach to great height. They have flat tops that give them an anvil shape. Cumulonimbus clouds usually produce heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. But cumulus clouds form in good weather, I said, not in thunderstorm. Clouds change all the time, class, just like the weather. And this one is changing fast. More changes? We had already been carried up in the atmosphere on hot air and totally surrounded by the tiny water droplets of a cloud. What could be next? Like it or not, we're about to find out. Chapter 4. The bus began to whip around inside the cloud. It was flipping all around. So this is what it's like to have our heads in the cloud, said Carlos. Our heads and the rest of us too, said Arnold. I can't tell which way is up. Neither could I. The wind inside the cloud was strong. The tiny water droplets that formed the cloud were churning around, and so were we. Winds have their ways of moving water droplets around inside clouds, Miss Frizzle told us. That can make a cloud change in a hurry. Wind pushed the churning water droplets of the cloud higher every second. The magic school bus flew up and down. Arnold was holding his arms over his stomach, trying to stop it from flipping. Does this bus come equipped with a motion sickness bags? He asked. Water droplets collided all around us, forming bigger and bigger drops. Before we knew it, plenty of droplets were large enough and heavy enough to fall from the cloud as rain. I don't see any lightning yet, but this is definitely starting to feel like a storm, said Ralphie. This was good news for the drought and bad news for us. At least, that's what I thought, but Charlie was grinning from ear to ear. I knew it was going to storm, he said. He looked over his shoulder at DA's notebook. Now I know why. The water vapor that makes my hair freeze moves up into the atmosphere with the hot air. He snapped his fingers. The next thing you know, there's a storm cloud. Actually, this air doesn't feel so hot anymore, I said, rubbing my arms. Who turned on the air conditioning? Mother Nature did. Miss Frizzle answered. Charlie looked really confused to hear that. I don't remember learning anything about her in my meteorology class, he said. I thought a cloud was moving up because the air around us is warm. Demanded it is, DA told him. She showed him a page in her weather book. But the air outside our cloud gets cooler as we travel higher in the atmosphere. Sooner or later, the air inside the cloud cools down too. Right you are, DA. The winds inside our cloud have stretched the cloud up so high that the air temperature at the top of the cloud is below freezing. The goosebumps on my arms told me she was right. So did the ice crystals I saw forming in the cool air outside the bus. Now water droplets and ice crystals flew all around us inside the cloud. They were like high-speed bumper cars that slammed into one another. In no time at all, the magic school bus was covered with water all over again. Then we banged into an ice crystal. We froze right onto the surface of the ice, said Tim. We are definitely not a calm, puffy cumulus cloud anymore. Not with all this rain, hail, and crazy wind. No kidding, in no time at all, our cloud had blown to a huge towering shape. The wind was so strong it swept the top of the cloud flat. Taking a look at Miss Frizzle's cloud chart, I realized exactly what kind of cloud we had become. We were a cumulonimbus cloud. Whoa! Carlos grabbed onto the seat in front of him as the bus lurched on a strong updraft. Miss Frizzle, I'm feeling all shook up, he said. Miss Frizzle's eyes sparkled. When ice crystals and water droplets collide inside thunderclouds, they do a lot more than just shake things up. They provide just the right ingredients for thunder and lightning to make an electrifying entrance. The TV personalities know how important it is to make a good first impression, Charlie said. Then he gave Miss Frizzle a sheepish grin and added, I guess you're talking about a different kind of electricity, huh? You are catching my drift, Mr. Nimbus, said the Freeze. Let's get ready for some high voltage action. Things are about to charge up in a big way. The end.